Hello all, a very warm welcome in this forensic lecture series, and today we are going to discuss about the crime scene processing. Okay, so till now in the previous lectures we have discussed about what is crime scene, what is the significance of forensic science, and what are the types of crime scene. Now how to process the crime scene. It is again going to be an outline only of the processing guide, while the actual processing including the recording happens in detail, which we will discuss further in our lecture series. So please pay attention, and here we go. Now, who all are the people who are there at the crime scene? You must have seen many people approaching the crime scene, but as a precaution we have understood that unwanted people, who are these unwanted people? Those who are not related to the forum. Okay, those who have nothing to do with the collection of the evidence or the investigation of the crime, like media people and all. So unwanted people should be avoided approaching the scene as far as possible. But you know, the media is very active these days, and they want to, or they try to find out each and everything of every aspect. So it is very hard to manage that, but somehow there should be a proper barricade with a red area, as we have discussed in the protection line, that within that area nobody will be allowed. So who all are the people will be allowed? There will be a team leader. This is probably the team leader, probably be investigating officer or the police personnel who is leading the team, who is leading the investigation. And then there will be a photographer with a photographic log recorder. There will be a sketch preparer who will be a draft person, or any forensic scientist who is good in drawing sketching. Means I mean to say, when you are doing the forensic science course, you have been prepared to sketch the crime scene by various methods, which we will also learn in the further series. Now there must be an evidence recorder who is taking the or indexing all the evidences one by one with all the details, and there will be an evidence recovery personnel. He can be the same person, or there can be two people, and the specialist. Now the specialists are the actual forensic expert who have specialized knowledge in that particular field. Okay, so let us go briefly on the team leader. I told you investigating officer. So first he need to take care of the control. Okay, then he need to conduct initial walkthrough. Now again, please be sure this initial walkthrough is happening with the photography, along with the photography itself. This initial walkthrough may misplace any evidence, so we have to be very sure that this initial walkthrough is happening along with the photography. So what is the purpose of this initial walkthrough? This is to make the preliminary survey, which will tell what is the crime scene or what has happened, or he may create a hypothesis by this preliminary survey, or he may create a line, an action line, that how to go about the investigation, searching and identifying the clues or the evidences. Now in the preliminary survey he will also evaluate the potential evidences, and he will prepare a narrative description of that. Now he is the one who is going to determine the search pattern. There are five types of search pattern, which we will discuss again in the crime scene searching, but for an instance I would like to give you zone method, grid method, parallel strip method, wheel search method. All these are the methods which we will discuss in detail, and he will assign the further teams that who will do what, and he will secure the commandant post, means the location of the crime scene, okay, till the complete investigation happens. And he will be the one who will coordinate with the law enforcement agencies, means the court, the lawyers, and the other police officers. He will be the one who will be responding, who will be the spokesperson to all these people of the forum. Now he will ensure the sufficient supply of equipment and all other things, and who can access to the scene, who cannot, and he have to maintain a log of everyone. So he is the investigating officer. He can be the police officer, as I told you. In India, if I take an example of India, he can be anybody of sub-inspector or inspector rank, or maybe higher. He cannot be a constable or head constable, and then it depends to the country wise what are their rules and regulations. But in most of the country, these are the people of the higher ranks are the investigating officers, and he will be the one who will release the crime scene, means the cleanup of the scene. He is the one who is responsible for the final survey and to submit all the evidence in the courtroom, etc. Okay, so let's go ahead. Now, what is the work of the photographer? Again, I am telling you, we will take a separate session on photography, how to conduct the photography of the crime scene, what are the precautionary measures, and what to be considered, what not to be considered during the crime scene photography. So I am just going to brief about it here in this slide. So photograph the entire area means it is not only required to photograph where you see the evidence, but it may be there are certain evidences which may be overlooked by the investigating officer but may be captured in the camera well. So please photograph the entire area. Now photograph the victim if there is any, or the crowd and the vehicles, because there may be some people in the crowd which may be beneficial in the further investigation process. Okay, so as the vehicles. Now photograph the entire scene with overall, medium and close-up range. There are 3 types of photographs. So the minimum limit of photograph is 3, but there is no maximum limit how many photographs should be there for a particular evidence, but there should be 3: an overall picture, which is a storytelling picture, then the medium photograph, then the close-up photograph with a reference scale. Okay, and then after that, after the general photography, the photograph of the major evidences should be taken along with the sketches, and during the recording of the evidences, and during the recovery of the evidences as well. A photography of the latent fingerprints. Now latent means hidden. Now this should be accomplished with the help of a different lighting procedure, ultraviolet light, infrared light. All these lighting procedures should be taken care of, and then a proper photographic log should also be maintained for the courtroom. Next is the work of the sketch preparer. So there are 2 types of sketches I would like to mention: a rough sketch and a final or the finished sketch. And sketches are very much necessary because they tell us about the direction, position and interrelationship between the evidences, while the photograph cannot tell all these things. So sketches are as important as the photographs, though we need photography at every step, but sketches also on the spot crime scene and in the lab with the final sketches. So we need to diagram the immediate area of the scene, what we have barricaded, and we have to orient the diagram with the sketch, and there should be we need to designate and label the areas of search and advise team leader and all other search members to nomenclate the designated areas, or to mark the designated areas with the numbers, the evidence markers. And we need to take care of all the measurements in the sketch, from the major evidences to the minor evidences. So we need to consider the major evidences first, and then we need to make and sure all the administrative information, that who is the sketch preparer, what scale we have taken in the sketch, whether it is to scale, not to scale, what is the direction, who is the investigating officer, who is the forensic expert. All those details should be mentioned in the sketches as well. Then there will be an evidence recorder, or who will also maintain the chain of custody. So this should be done after the photography. Okay, evidence searching and recording should be done after the photography. Now he will be the one who will describe the evidence, the type of the evidence, its location, and in which container it should be packed and labeled properly. Okay, then he will be the one who will take care of the proper collection and packaging of the evidence, maintaining the evidence log. As you can see on the right side, this is the evidence log. This should be maintained by the evidence recorder or the evidence collector. So you have an extra opportunity of collecting the evidence on the crime scene. means you may take this as your career. So a forensic photographer is different. You may be a forensic photographer, you may become a forensic photographer, you may become a evidence recorder or evidence collector, or you may be a sketcher, crime scene sketcher. Okay, there are several options which we will discuss in further series in upcoming sessions, and he will be the one who will use the appropriate methods with all the precautions so as not to infect or not to cross-contaminate the other evidences. Now, other comes the specialist. So I would not like to go in much deep here. You know, many of the specialists we have discussed in the branches of forensic science, that there are several specialists like anthropologist, blood pattern analyst, bomb technician, criminalist, engineer, entomologist, medical examiner, odontologist, surveyor, fingerprint expert, handwriting expert, means the question document expert, and so on. So you need all these specialists according to the case. Okay, whatever the case you are dealing with, you need the specialist in that area. And why do we need a specialist? Because they know how to properly collect these evidences and what all information can be gathered from these evidences further on. Okay, so specialists are very much required in this scenario. Okay, so in our next session we will discuss about all these procedures in detail, that what we need to do in the step of the preparation and what will be the basic stages in search, how to approach the scene, how to secure and protect. Though we know much about that, so we will discuss briefly in the next session about these, and how to evaluate the potential physical evidences and the description of that, the photograph and everything. And I know that you will be happy to learn all these in detail in the further next session. Till then, thank you very much.